Whoops, I almost forgot to put down the mic. Greetings, 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 good people. Thank you for being here with us, with me, for day 4 of our ancestral activation for Black liberation. Today, we're talking about really recognizing and embracing the ancestral gifts and strengths that we have inherited. Sometimes those things can go over our heads and not even realize that they're there. But today we're going to take some time to dive into them a little bit and open ourselves up to them. And all month long, we are doing this ancestral activation during Black History Month every day. We're on day 4. We're going all the way to day 28 because we know we are in some times that are just very challenging. We'll put it that way. But Black history is about acknowledging and recognizing and remembering all of the greatness that is us, that is our people, that has been our people. And so, in a way, even thinking about Black history is ancestral in and of itself. So, let's lean into that with intention during these 28 days and really strengthen that bond, strengthen that connection to bring us the wisdom, the guidance, the protection that we need right now and that we will need going forward. So, that's what this, I was about to call it a challenge. I mean, it kind of is a challenge when you think about showing up for 28 days in a concentrated way, in a focused way to bring upon a certain outcome, and that outcome is just the ancestral protection and guidance that we seek and that we need to get through these times. And so that's what this is about. And if that feels good to you, and I say feels good because this is more than just an analytical thinking thing, this is you being called to do the thing. Um, Ring the bell, subscribe, like, so that you know when this is going on, when I go live and when we're having this ancestral activation. Ringing that bell and seeing it show up and pop up for you will remind you, even if you can't join us, even if you can't join us live or you come in later, at that moment while we're in this space, connect with your ancestors, connect with your people, which is what this week is all about. It's about connecting with your lineage, your people that birthed all the people, that birthed all the people, that resulted in you being here. They survived so much. And now you're here. And so we want to give honor and pull them that are already close to us even closer. So who am I? I am Barbara Ohuninifa. People be like, say what now? Ohuninifa. Ohuninifa. And I am an author, a coach, a speaker, and I created Beautiful Powerful Love as a platform. You'll find me on Medium, here on YouTube channel, and all the social areas where, some of the social media I'm starting to pull back from some of the platforms. But Beautiful Powerful Love is where you'll find me in most places, sometimes under Barbara Ohuninifa. But my whole mission, my whole purpose in writing the books and doing the work that I do and the coaching that I do is to help Black women to recognize that we are beautiful, to remember that we are powerful, and to be the love that we give to others so freely. And really, that we've been looking for that love to be returned to us, and rarely is it. So we have to and need to remember that we are love. That's why people come to us. As we saw, the 92% saw that, people come to us for that. And so that's what this work is about. But this ancestral activation is for all of us. It's for all of us, um, Black folks, and I was going to say African American, but it's not just African American, because our people were taken to Brazil, they were taken to Cuba, they were taken to Haiti, they were taken to Europe. And so wherever we find ourselves, this is about us. This is about calling in those who survived all of that and enabled us to be here. And so, again, if this is your jam, whether it's this ancestral activation or supporting Black women in general with beautiful, powerful love, and recognizing and remembering that, if that's your jam, subscribe, like, and move forward with us because we got work to do, y'all. Again, and I say this every time, but y'all should know by now, I got to check my notes so I can stay focused. Perimenopausal mind, and I'll get passionate, and, you know, I'll get distracted and just get off on a tangent. And we're trying to keep these tight and to the point so that we have the ability to show up every day. And so these streams can't be too long. Now, the first 3 days, yesterday, actually, we talked about honoring the people, our people, by telling their stories. We know in our community, in the Black community, we be keeping secrets, we be keeping family secrets, you know, or we think we'll keep family secrets, but we only like whisper and gossip the little pieces. But if we actually tell our stories, we honor those who came before us. We honor the struggles that they had that maybe they didn't do so well at, but it was still a struggle that they made it through, and you're here. So we got to tell those stories. And so that's what we talked about yesterday. And then and I'll link that up above once the stream is over and processed, so you can go back and take a look at that, because I'm not going to do too much recapping here. In those first 3 days, um, days 1, 2, and 3, I talked about some recent examples of where ancestors had been activated and what the outcome of those were, or maybe where they weren't activated, or on some levels were activated. And I'm not going to rehash those now or even give new examples of that. I encourage you to go back and look at those first 3 days to really see, when we've done some things, when things seem to have opened up and there was hope, we there was actually an activation of ancestors that happened before the thing or during the thing. So I encourage you to go back and look at that. But today, it's about turning our hearts towards the gifts and the strengths that our ancestors gave us, that were passed down to us, their resilience, their wisdom, their creativity. Y'all know that's why Black people move the culture forward, because our creativity is so ingrained in who we are. It's so ingrained in, I just don't say who we are. It just is a part of who we are as a people. And those talents continue to live on in us. All the things that we have created and invented, whether they were stolen from us or not, we know, and our people know, our ancestors know who actually invented the thing, and who actually created the thing, and whose wisdom actually guided whatever the situation was. So we have access to that, whether we recognize it or not. Those skills and abilities were passed down to us, and we carry them. And those blessings, came to us from the people who came before us. Do you know how diligently they prayed for us? They prayed for our well-being, for our health, for our safety, for things to get better than what they experienced. We have that memory within us. We have those talents within us. We have, in our blood, in our cellular memory, we have that. We have those gifts. Epigenetics, which is the scientific term of when a people go through extended, prolonged trauma, the impact of that trauma gets passed down genetically. It transforms and impacts and alters your DNA, and that trauma impact gets passed down. But so does the gifts, the resiliency, the talents, the wisdom, the strengths. That gets passed down partially by the genetics, but by those prayers, the prayers that our ancestors spoke over us before we were even conceived and thought of, the prayers they spoke over their own children that continued forward generations. Those, those, the resiliency, the strengths, the gifts, the talents, the things that enabled them to maneuver, to survive, those talents have been passed to us. Again, their prayers, even the ability to pray. Y'all done seen how the church mothers can pray, and the prayer warriors can come together and pray over someone in the hospital, someone that needs help, and see things move. That's a gift, and we have that. So why not use that? Why not tap into that? Our ancestors survived the Middle Passage. They survived enslavement. They survived Reconstruction. They survived Jim Crow. They survived the Civil Rights era and every horrific trauma filled period in between those markers, those milestones. They survived it. And it was their gifts and talents that enabled them to survive it and to keep moving forward, despite all of the obstacles that were intentionally placed before them to stop them from moving forward, to stop them from thriving. They thrived anyway. They moved anyway. And that is us. That's what we come from. That's our legacy. Some of our people were healers, some of them were warriors, some of them were teachers, some of them were storytellers, some of them were visionaries. They could see, and I'm not even talking about in an ethereal way. They could see and had a vision and had a hope for the future and understood how to maneuver and how to move forward in that. And to be clear, when we were stolen from the motherland, from the continent, from Africa, West Africa, and all the places along the coast where we were taken from, most of the time, the 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 colonizers, the enslavers were looking for specific skill sets that they didn't have, much of which they didn't have much of skill sets, whether it was how to actually farm and produce from the earth or farm particularly difficult crops, whether it was, indigo, rice, and including cotton, sugarcane, like all of these major export materials. We knew how to cultivate the earth and bring it forth. So they came looking for us to do that. That is part of the thing. And the other thing is that though the life in the southern United States was sustained through skilled labor from the enslaved, whether it was the blacksmith or the miller or the distiller or the shoemaker or the weavers or the knitters. Like it wasn't just, oh, let me go to the store and buy a thing. Everything that everyone used had to be made, and we were the master craftsmen and women at making that. Not to mention the food. We don't even have to go there in terms of cooking and catering. Watch High on the Hog on Netflix. There's so much talent that we've had that they have depended on us for, and now want to, well, we won't even get into what they'll say now, but for us to recognize how invaluable we are and the talents that we have. So I don't want you to get caught up in thinking, oh, we was just picking cotton. We, first of all, just picking cotton ain't no just. That is backbreaking work. You got to have a physical stamina and understanding of that cotton and of maneuvering through there quickly. And then there's the process of growing the things, cultivating the things, all the different crops. What do you do with them? And then the cooking and, like I said, the skilled craftsmen. We were the backbone of everything. We built this economy. We built this country, literally and figuratively. So you can't create a nation or have a nation created on your back and out of your wombs without having talent. And that is you. That is the talent that you have. You got nation building talent. You know what I'm saying? And that came through from your ancestors. I want you to understand that their hands created and their minds envisioned and their hearts loved. And you have that as well. Only have to call it in. Through us, their work continues. Through us, their hopes and dreams continue. We are the answer to their wildest dreams. We are the answer to their prayers. We, this are the descendants. The prayers that they made oh so long ago, whether it was just 10 years ago or 200 years ago, we are the answer to those prayers. We only need to move forward, reclaim what's ours, and move forward. So I'm keeping my little preamble before we get into our conversation with the ancestors to the point. So we're going to move into our altar room for the day. As I get all of that prepared for us, I invite you to find a comfortable position and just start taking some deep breaths and slowing down and settling down. To allow the ancestors to come closer, we got to de-stress a little bit. You got to allow space for them to come. So find a comfortable position, chillax a little bit, and start taking some deep breaths while we get things set up for the altar room. You're going to keep taking your deep inhales and exhales. And let us enter this meditation with reverence, calling forth the gifts that are within us, embracing the strengths of our lineage, of our people, of our individual ancestors. If you'd like, you can close your eyes or lower your gaze. And again, continue to take those deep breaths. And I inhale, hold, and exhale. Breathe in wisdom. Exhale doubt. Breathe in strength. Exhale fear. Breathe in connection. Exhale separation. I always start with pouring a libation. It's a us tradition. Omi tutu, cool water. Ona tutu, cool roads. Ile tutu, cool house. Ori tutu, cool head. Tutu Egun, may our ancestors be cooled and refreshed. May they protect us, guide us, love us, bless us, day in and day out as we love and bless them. For one day we too shall be ancestors. And we give thanks. We give thanks to this earth. We give thanks. Amen. Ashe. Call forth your honorable ancestors. Call their names. We call forth our honorable ancestors, those who have gone before us. We call your names so that you may be uplifted, so that you may be honored, so that you may be revered, so that you may be held in light and love. We call your names. We call the names of our ancestral mothers, those who gave birth to all those who came before us. We call your names. In whatever space you're in, call their names. Speak their names out loud. Let them hear the vibration of your voice, their descendant, calling their names. We call forth our ancestral fathers, those who protected, those who guided. We call their names. We call forth our honorable ancestors from all parts of our lineage. We call their names so that they may be honored and uplifted, so they may recognize who they are as we recognize who we are. We call their names and honor them so that they know that their struggle was not in vain. We honor them. We call their names. We call forth our ancestors whose names are so ancient that they are simply the vibrations spoken across the cosmic waters to create form. We call your names and we give you thanks. We give you love. We give you light. We give you honor, for we are your children. Bone of your bone, flesh of your flesh, blood of your blood, spirit of your spirit. We give thanks to our ancestors and we call you forth. Our honorable ancestors of light, those who are loving, benevolent, and want only the good for us. Take a deep breath. Now imagine yourself standing at the entrance of a great hall. This is the hall of ancestral gifts, of your ancestral gifts. As you called their names before, they've arrived, they've come, they've always been with you, but they're stronger. They can assist, they can maneuver better now. And as you stand before this hall of ancestral gifts, hall of ancestral gifts of your sacred lineage, it's a space where the gifts and talents of your people are preserved. Perhaps there are some that you have already claimed unknowingly or knowingly, and likely there are others that are still awaiting you. As you step inside, you see portraits or statues or carvings of your ancestors lining the walls. This great majestic hall filled with your ancestors. Some faces you recognize, others are unknown. Yet each one carries a legacy, a skill, a talent, a wisdom passed down through time. Take a deep breath. Then before you, in front of you, an ancestor appears, one who is known for a specific strength or gift. Perhaps it's a grandmother who was a healer, or a great grandfather who was a blacksmith, a distant relative who had a artistic or intellectual gift. They step forward towards you, placing their hands on yours, looking at you lovingly, filling the space, filling you with pure love. And as they place their hands on yours, they transfer their energy, their wisdom, their gift into you. Take a deep breath. Take two more, and with each exhale, release and open and relax. Allow the gift to transfer. Take a deep breath. One more. Say silently or out loud, Ancestor of strength and wisdom, I honor you. I welcome the gifts you have passed down to me. May I use them with purpose. May I embody them with gratitude. Your power lives through me. And just sit and breathe at your natural rhythm and allow that space for the transmission of those strengths and gifts to come through. Allow time for any visions or feelings or words to emerge. Just be and allow, focusing on love. Now you turn inward. Now that you've received the gifts, allow them to enter, allow the gifts and strengths and talents to integrate or to begin to integrate. Turn inward and ask yourself, what abilities or passions flow naturally for me? What skills have I inherited, even if I haven't fully claimed them yet? How can I honor and develop these gifts in my life? These are questions you're just asking your internal self, your higher self, your core self, your younger self, all the selves. Just ask a question and take a deep breath while you feel the warmth and love of your ancestors' presence, because they're still there, protecting you, supporting you. They take a step back, but their essence still remains with you. Their gifts still remain with you. Say out loud or silently, I honor the gifts of my ancestors. I walk forward carrying their wisdom, their strength, their light. Amen and Ashe. Take a few grounding breaths, inhaling deeply, expanding in all directions, allowing air to fill every nook and cranny of your body. And exhaling slowly and deeply, drawing in your stomach, allowing air from deep within your lungs to be expelled, to be released. Let's do that together. And take the deep inhale and exhale. One more time. Now, if you have a pen and pad nearby, you can slowly open your eyes and reach for that pen and pad. Or go back to this video later. Here's some journaling prompts that can help you process asking those questions again. What gifts or strengths do I believe I have inherited from my ancestors? Don't overanalyze it, just write. Are there skills or abilities in my family that I haven't fully embraced but feel drawn to? How can I develop and honor these gifts in my daily life or work? What message did my ancestors share with me today? As you go forward, pay attention to your surroundings and experiences after this ancestral meditation. Notice if something shows up in your world that represents the gifts and talents that were passed down, symbols of their talents. Maybe it's a musical instrument, a book, a sewing needle, some healing herbs, a paintbrush, song lyrics that speak to you. Something comes on the radio, something flashes across your computer screen. Take note and understand and receive. As you've gone through those journaling prompts, you might feel called to add to your altar a representation of that talent. If you have an ancestor who was a drummer, perhaps you give them a small drum, or an ancestor who was a painter, you give them a small paintbrush. Doesn't have to be elaborate, but it symbolizes the thing that they did and were known for and had talent at when they were here. Find one way to use or develop your ancestral gifts. If your ancestor was a healer, maybe explore healing practices like herbal remedies or energy work. If they were a storyteller, perhaps write or share a story from your people. If they were artisans or creators, make something with your hands. Maybe they were warriors or leaders, and you can draw on that talent to stand firm in your truth and advocate for what's right. Remember, honoring their gift means actively embodying them. You are their living legacy. I give you thanks. Thanks for being here with us today. May the gifts of your ancestors flourish within you, and may you recognize that you have those gifts and those talents. Yes? Walk forward with confidence, good people, as you come from brilliance. You come from people who did the impossible, who worked miracles, who were so creative and so talented that they were sought after all over the world. Not respected, but sought after. Stand in that power, access that power, reclaim that power. Until next time, take good care of you. Peace.